So part A of build today is going to be 4 sets of max feet elevated dumbbell push-ups into a feet elevated dip. So with this variation of a push-up, hands either side of the dumbbell, obviously feet are going to be elevated on the bench. As Jack's doing now, you want to make sure that you're lowering down so that your chest is touching your hands or the dumbbell. Rest there, Jack. What you don't want to be doing, and a lot of common mistakes in all kind of push-ups, would be lowering your hands either side of your head and letting your elbows flare out. So on this, making sure dumbbell squeeze together, you should feel your chest, and obviously with it being a narrower variation, it should hit your triceps a lot as well. So making sure dumbbell comes into your chest, elbows are tucked in, make sure you really keep that plank position. Scales for this should still be a narrow grip, so everyone should be doing a narrow grip push-up. Obviously, if you have your feet on the floor, it'll be a little bit easier, or if you have to go from your knees, it'll be a little bit easier as well, but everyone's going hands on dumbbells, narrow grip. Straight into dip variation. So to make this hard, Jack's going feet elevated. This is obviously hitting his shoulders and triceps really again. As he lowers down, he tries to keep his torso as vertical as possible. Go to as low as you can, control, making sure it's not too deep for your range of motion. So if you go too low, it might put a little bit of stress on the front of your shoulders. So make sure you can really feel the triceps on the back of your arms. Make sure it's slow and controlled. You go max reps again. If this is a little bit hard, feet on the floor. If that's still a little bit hard and you want to scale it down again, you can bend your knees. If Jack just shows the bent knee one with his feet on the floor, that'll make it a little bit easier because more weight is going to be through your feet rather than through your arms. You go max reps on that again, back to back, 2 minutes rest in between for 4 total sets. Part B, you are going for max reps, single arm, dumbbell row. So Jack's going supporting hand on the bench, making sure he pulls his hand back towards his hip. Elbow is tucked into your side, so you're really hitting your lat muscles. So it's not elbow out to the side, fist up to your face. You should be pulling back to the hip, squeezing, nice, slow and controlled. Try and make sure you're lowering it down as well. You're not just going big pull and then letting it drop. So max reps on left arm row, straight into max reps, overhead press with that same arm. So obviously a strict press, no legs, make sure squeezing bum, squeezing his core so it's tight, and he's pressing up overhead. I like to do the same as Jack, have my other arm out to the side to make sure I'm standing tall, core's tight. Jack would then go straight into the other arm, so rows on his right arm for max reps, straight into presses on his right arm overhead. You then rest and you've got 3 total sets. Part C is going to be bicep curls. You're doing 21s, which is a really popular workout for biceps, especially for your curls. That means you're doing 21 total reps. First 7 reps is going to be the bottom half. So if you come around the side, you'll see that Jack's going from the bottom just up to 90 degrees and back down again. For his second 7 reps, he's doing the top half. So starts at 90 degrees, comes up to the top, back down again. Make sure at the top, you're not coming all the way into a front rack and resting. You should be keeping tension on your bicep, so all the way through you're engaged. Third lot of 7s he goes straight into now is a full rep. So again, he's keeping tension all the way. He's not resting at either end. It shouldn't be a long pause, it should be constant motion. And then he rests. You're doing 3 total sets of that. Scaling options for your curl. If you've got a heavy weight, if you took a 25 home or something, and that's a little bit heavy for you, then you can just change the reps a little bit. So as long as you're doing an equal amount of reps, you can maybe do 5 bottom, 5 top, 5 full. You could do 3, 3, 3. If you've got a really lightweight and it's easy, you could even go up and do say 10, 10, 10, something like that. Make sure the reps are slow and controlled. Don't just rush through the reps and start swinging it and moving my elbows. Elbows should stay still throughout the whole thing to make sure you're fully loading the bicep, you're not swinging back and forward. 3 total sets of that, rest in between as needed, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Part D, last part of today's build session, is going to be 3 sets. Max reps single arm floor press. So Jack's laying on the floor. I like to have feet flat. Other arm is out to the side to support. Hand with the dumbbell, lowering down, lightly touching his elbow, back up to the top. With that elbow, you want to be about 45 degrees. So not all the way out at 90 degrees, not all the way at the side. It wants to be about 45 degrees, the same as you do a push-up, the same as you do a normal bench press. Jack goes for max reps on his right arm, whichever arm you want to start with, then he does exactly the same on his second arm. I would probably do your weak arm first, and then try and match it with your good arm, rather than say doing 10 with weak arm, 25 or something silly with your good arm. After you've done that, straight into 20, dead stop, Russian twists. So making sure momentum completely stops, you're not bouncing it off the floor, like so. Rotating, make sure you're crunching down, feet are off the floor. If you need to, you can pop your heels down on the floor to make it a little bit easier. And again, if that weight's a bit too heavy, a bit too light, just adjust those reps. So it should be reasonably high reps, but you're staying in control. It shouldn't be a massive swing, it should be controlled. Chest is facing your fists each time with that dumbbell.